Hey guys, it's me, and this is my dog. Now he's not just any dog, he's an adventure dog. He loves going on adventures with me, whether it be in the backyard or in the great outdoors. And today we're going to go through one of our biggest adventures yet. A few weeks ago, I had a work emergency come up. When we were almost at the door, Bandit stopped. His ears perked up, and he started staring off into the trees. So I thought maybe there was a squirrel or maybe a deer or something back there. So I grabbed him by the collar and started walking him back to the room. And all the while, I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? How am I going to get him back? What am I going to tell my mom? What am I going to tell the people at the front desk? So I finally got to the bottom of the hill, and I couldn't see him anywhere. So I started calling his name and yelling for him. Finally, he popped his head out from behind a tree, and I found him. As I was doing so, I felt a sudden tug on his collar, and he bolted. I believe that when I was running after him, he knew that I was trying to catch him and bring him back. When Bandit bolted that first time and ran down the hill, I was furious. I was upset. I was angry. I was saying to myself, what did you do? How could you do this? What am I going to do? But you can't stay mad at a dog. They're innocent. They make mistakes, just like we all do. And I forgive them, and I've moved on from it. And I think that's why he was trying to run from me. But whatever it was, I'm just glad that he's okay. If you did, please hit that subscribe button and the like button, and I'll see you guys next time. And he looked at me, and he had a look on his face that I'll never forget. It was kind of like he was smirking at me like, gotcha, buddy. Never give up on your dog, no matter how far they get away. Never give up on your dog, no matter how long you've been searching for them. Never give up on your dog, no matter how bad you think it is. Because at the end of the day, they're family. And family sticks together no matter what. Everything was fine. And he slept in the bed with us that night. And the next morning, of course, he wanted to play a little bit. So I took him out back for a little bit of playtime, and then we headed home. So I grabbed him by the collar and started walking him back up the hill. My mom needed some help, and she was alone, and it was getting late, and I couldn't get off work until 6:30, and we finally got up the hill, and there was the hotel right in front of us. And I thought to myself, oh man, this is it. I'm soaked. I'm dirty. He still has the same personality, but he's just not as adventurous anymore. He's not as willing to go out exploring as he used to be. And I think that's because he realized what happened last time he tried to run away. So he's a little more obedient now. He's probably going to chew up the bed. This is going to be fun. But then something unexpected happened. As we walked into the room, my mom looked over at him and she said, oh, you're so wet. You need a bath. And then she started petting him. And he was so tired at this point that he just laid down on the bed and fell asleep. We ate dinner, we watched TV, and then, of course, I went to bed because I woke up early the next morning for work. But before I went to bed, I took Bandit out back for a bathroom break. The first lesson I learned is to always take your dog with you when you walk them. Never ever let them off leash unless you're in a fenced-in area, because you never know what can happen. Now, thankfully, Bandit wore his collar with his tags on it. That's how I knew who he belonged to. But also, he had a GPS tracker on his collar. That's what I used to find him that night. I grabbed him by the collar again and started walking him back towards the hotel room. But as soon as I did that, he bolted again, turned around, stared at me, and bolted back the way he came. So at this point, I knew I wasn't going to catch him. I knew I had to get him back somehow, so I called his name one last time, and then I did the only thing I could do. I started running down the hill after him. And I didn't realize it at the time, but this little bathroom break would turn into a huge adventure for both of us. So I called her and asked if she could stay at a hotel. She was a little bit hesitant because she doesn't like to stay at hotels alone. But this is probably the worst situation you can be in with a dog. You feel that tug on the collar, and they bolt. You know, you think to yourself, oh no, now he's gone. But what made this situation worse is that there was a big hill between me and the woods. And if he got down that hill, he would be gone. So I took off running after him, yelling his name at the top of my lungs. So I said, how about if I get your favorite treat? And that convinced her. So I got off work, ran to the store, grabbed a little something for my mom, a little something for myself, and then headed straight to the hotel to surprise my mom. We had a wonderful night. So we went out back, did what we needed to do, and started heading back to the door. Now, I don't know how many of you have been in this situation, and somehow I don't know how, but I was able to get to him before he got to the hill. I ran as fast as I could, slipping and sliding down the muddy hill. At this point, I was completely drained. Wet, muddy, everything you could imagine. But I was very thankful to see him. And all the way up the hill, he kept trying to bolt on me, which made it even harder. And that was the end of the adventure. Thankfully, he didn't chew up the bed, didn't tear up the room. But ever since that day, Bandit has not been the same. Well, he's still the same old Bandit. Well, we learned some lessons that day, both me and Bandit. The second lesson I learned is that dogs can sense danger. The third lesson I learned that day is to not judge your dog. The fourth lesson I learned that night is to never give up. I hope you enjoyed our adventure story.